come on? Because you can't get the yellow button. It should turn the mic on now. Okay, good. Let me just, it's going to be about 20:07 or 08 it comes on. Of course the screen, but it's not on the screen. It's not yet.
Yeah, it's just on.
How you doing?
Pretty good, John.
Turn it on.
The Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards, every Thursday at 6:15 on Goliath Radio. Gwen Azama-Edwards, retired city clerk, former city commissioner, city of Daytona Beach. The Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards on Goliath Radio.
Stan, you've been sitting much too long, much too long. Welcome, 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 welcome to Truth, a radio program designed with you in mind, a program whose sole purpose is to empower you, our listeners, for information leads to knowledge, and knowledge is power. And as always, I want to empower you to take control of your life, those things that impact you, your family, and your community. As always, too, I want you to go to the website at www.gwen-truth.com so you can access all those all-powerful links that will make you what? All-powerful. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Truth. And we have a powerful program for you tonight. A program that will help you, as I said to my Facebook friends, be well and be the best that you can be psychologically as well as physically, because getting fit physically truly is in part mental, psychological. Okay, as has been stated, I'm Gwen Azama-Edwards, former city commissioner, retired city clerk, city of Daytona Beach, author, minister, St. John Missionary Baptist Church Incorporated, and community volunteer. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have three great guests here tonight. My friend who has been on the show a couple of times, she just can't get enough. Praise God. Psychologist, Vanessa Harvey-Lents. And she has two of her friends who are here who are going to talk about Dojo. They're going to correct this on me, I'm sure. We've been talking about so much else. We should have been talking about the title of the business, Dojo for Karate. It's about black belt. It's about not just the physical, but also the mental side of things that you need to know, that young people need to know, family members and the like. And our guests, of course, are Tony Colwell and Larry Jones. And sometimes I screw up names, but my guests, thank God, they always correct me and get things right. But we know, and Vanessa and I were talking about this, that obesity, and we've talked about this many times on previous shows, that obesity is one of the #1 problems, top problems that we as Americans have. We eat too much and we do too little in terms of physical motion and movement. And as a result, we end up then being not so physically fit. And then we subject ourselves to all the kinds of maladies that you can think of in terms of high blood pressure and heart attacks and all the other things that can go on with your body. And so this is a way of helping to deal with that and helping your children to start off the right way and to stay on the right track. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, and I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves to you and correct whatever I've said or done that is not correct. But before I do that, let me I just have to make this statement in terms of what's happening to our president. And he is, whether you like it or not, our president. And that's President Barack Obama. I'm at a point myself where I just feel like saying enough is a dang on enough. You know what I'm saying? And for those who don't feel that so much that is happening to him is racially motivated, get a life. It is beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I guess the straw that's breaking the camel's back for me today, because stuff keeps happening, and it's in terms of this thing about him being sued, which we know is politically motivated, and you know it's kind of what happens in government, etc. But I am just so fed up with it all, and personally, I just say to the president, I got your back, okay? And not only am I going to talk up more for you, but the check is already sent, and there will be more coming, because I personally am fed up, and I hope some of you are too. And this isn't about your party affiliation or whatever. This is about this country. We need to get back on the right track, guys. And this is some crazy stuff that's going on that just needs to be just pulled in and brought to sanity, some level of sanity. And personally, you can tell I'm just emotional about this thing because I'm just plain fed up, okay? And my guests, people who are going to help us to de-stress. Cue, praise God. Yes.
Breathe.
Of course, you guys can't see me because I got so many guests, so I just say, I'm breathing. Okay. But my guests are people who are able to help us de-stress. So, again, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves and tell us why, other than our psychologist friend over here, why you guys got into what you got into and why you feel that it will make a difference.
Okay. My name is Larry Jones, and we are martial art instructors, myself and Mr. Tony Colwell, at the Dojo Daytona, located in Daytona Beach, Florida, on the corner of 8th and Derbyshire in the Derby Plaza, the old Derby Plaza.
1224. 1248 is the address.
1248 8th Street.
And this is a new location, right?
Yes, it is a new location.
Yes.
I'm just actually returning to the Florida area and came in the partnership with Mr. Colwell to offer something to the community. You know, the share of what we like teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I'm going to need you to get real close to that mic and almost eat it because we don't want our listeners to miss a thing. We don't want them to miss a thing in terms of what you guys are sharing. Because what you're offering to the community, what you're offering to the young people and the family members and persons like my friend Vanessa, is something that is just so badly needed. You know, we got to get our minds straight and we got to get our bodies straight as well. And so much, in my opinion, that's tied to getting the body straight and keeping it straight is having the mind straight as well. Because a lot about karate is about discipline too, right?
yes, it is.
Very much so. The mental aspect is very important to the fact that, I mean, if you can listen, you can learn. And if you can learn, you can be taught. And if you can be taught, one day you'll be able to teach. And that's my philosophy when I get the kids inside, so that, you know, we more or less see what they can and can't do, and then we mold them into champions, more or less. So, you know, it's a beneficial thing. I'm so glad to have Mr. Jones with me because we've been going through this over and over. This is like what, our fourth school, something of that nature, something at, you know, different locations. And we still stay with it. You know, the kids keep me striving for just to teach more and more. So that's what my ability is, to teach, and I love it.
And there's so much. We were talking earlier too about the need for sharing information with our young people because we've got children raising children. The grandparents, some of them are still, you know, young and almost like children. And if they haven't, you know, from the beginning been taught, then it's hard to pass it on. And hard to pass on something that you don't know.
Exactly.
You know, and there's wisdom from individuals from our generation who were taught a lot about the right way to do things, and we pass that on to our children. But, you know, somewhere down the generations that have come forward since then, there's not a lot of that wisdom that's being passed down. In fact, so much in this world now is just based totally on greed. greed everywhere. We talked about that too, from the church house to the
Yes.
White House. Greed, 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 greed. And we got to get back to some basics of true values and believing in something and really teaching about right and wrong and standing for right.
Yes.
There I go on my soap opera again. But anyway, I truly believe that. I truly believe that. So you care about young people and you care about people being fit. Is that what drove you guys to get into this type of thing? You say this is like the fourth school, you know, this passion that keeps you going. What is it about your background and your childhood that has made you believe that this is the right thing to do today for them?
Well, when I was growing up, my mom actually couldn't afford for me to do karate. So when I was living in New York, I used to go by this karate school and just look in the window, and every day I would just, you know, I got on the track team so I could stay out later to go watch the karate guys do karate. So once he opened up the door to me, he was like, well, could you come in? I was like, okay, I came in. And then he was like, well, what would you like to do? I said, I would like to do sparring. And he gave me the equipment, and he said, what would you like to start? And so I started at the white belt, and I went all the way up to the purple belt. So once I got to that point, it was like, okay, I'm doing all I can do. I, you know, mastered all I could do with the purple belt. And then he wanted to know my name and my number and where did my mother live. I took off the equipment and ran out, because if my mother would have found out that I was at that school doing karate or fighting, I was gonna get a whooping. So I was like, the instructor was like, well, do anybody know that kid? He said, man, that's one of the Stuttermeyers, and if you find it, Stuttermeyers, they don't play that. He can't come in here and do karate because his mom ain't gonna allow him to do karate. He got to go to school and come home. So, and then after that, I was like, you know what, I would like to teach kids. I don't want them to be in that same format, because every parent can't pay for these high rate prices of karate, and we made it affordable for everybody. You know, we only charge like $60 a month. We have a bunch of different classes. We do Taekwondo, Goju-Ryu, we do Arnis, self-defense, 4 shields, and we do Muay Thai and kickboxing. So we offer all of that. And we have a different format. You know, if you want to take 1 or 2 or 3 different classes, there's a different prices for all 3 classes. And we're not trying to, you know, empty their pockets. We're trying to make sure that everybody can come and enjoy themselves and learn something at the same time.
All right. Now, you mentioned the different colors. Could you go through like the beginning one and the next one from there, and the next one from there, and the next one from there? I know, and I'm sure our listeners are aware of the fact that the Bethune-Cookman College coach actually gets into, now what is it, his thing that he is into a little bit different from?
Well, I've heard he's been doing MMA, which is a collaboration of, you know, just all martial arts, mixed martial arts. And,
okay.
and basically it's what you see on television on the UFC.
Oh, okay,
you know.
okay, where they're actually competing in kind of different things that, okay.
Yeah, so I mean that is an extreme part of the martial arts right there. You know, I mean, it's basically martial arts that has been taken to the next level. Because just like in life, you know, martial art has gone through phases. You know, and coming here into the United States, a lot of it's gone commercial, you know. But then you know, there are some true martial artists whose love for the arts keep it growing. You know, I mean, they're getting with other black belts and collaborating and exchanging techniques and exchanging ideas and growing that way. You know, so.
And thank goodness for the different movies that come on TV too, where you have a lot of the kickboxing, all this kind of stuff that goes on, which makes people, you know, get a little more interested and intrigued by the whole thing as well.
Yeah, well, that, you know, not trying to age myself, but you know, I mean, that was one of the things that kind of motivated me into it, was the movie Billy Jack. I don't know if people remember Billy Jack. That was an awesome movie, and his just philosophy, his demeanor and everything. I was like, I want to be like that guy. You know? More or less like Kwai Chang Caine, the Kung Fu story. You know, just really, you know, fighting for justice and stuff like that. You know, but my history has been, well, I joined the military, and I was fortunate. My first overseas assignment was in Asia. and I just tried to eat up as much of it as I could. You know, I mean, when I was there, I basically studied, 3 different arts at the same time. You know, I mean, I was just that hungry for it, because it was something new and exciting and mystique, and and the more I was into it, the more I learned that it was more or less about life. I mean, it was really about, you being the best person that you can be in all aspects. Walking that line of honor, and wanting to, be a servant to others. You know what I'm saying? So, and so over the years, I mean, it's taken me to places that people couldn't even imagine. I mean, and it's done so much for my self-esteem. I mean, me working with others, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. People say, I mean, they give me all these compliments. I don't see this, I mean, but I know this is just me being a martial artist. And first thing I wanted to do once I got out of the military was come back to Daytona and share, with the kids, because I remember the first day I got back, I went to a bicycle shop, and it was this kid. I know he was supposed to be in school. He wasn't in school, and the police was there, and nobody said anything. I'm like, God, we can use some help here. But I really enjoy, sharing the art with kids and just watching them grow through the art. Watching their self-esteem grow. Watching, them, take on, being disciplined, and staying focused, and just being that good person. It's great.
Oh, awesome. Now the different belts.
Okay, now we have 2 different arts now. He can explain his belt level, and I have to explain my belt level. Now his style is Taekwondo, which is a Korean style. And what I teach is Goju-Ryu. It's a Japanese style. So you heard of Mr. Miyagi, the Karate Kid, that's the style I teach.
All right.
He teaches the flashy, beautiful kicks in the air. He, that's Taekwondo. And he'd explain his belt level, and then I explain mine. So.
Okay, all right.
Okay, in Taekwondo, I mean, there are various systems in Taekwondo. So I mean, not all the belt ranks would be the same. But under the ITF, which is the International Taekwondo Federation, you have your white belt, which is your beginner. That means you're pure, you know nothing, so you're there to absorb. Then you have your yellow belt. There's other belts that can go in between there, but the main belt would be the green belt, blue belt, brown belt, and then your black belt. And black belt is, once you obtain, you get that means that you're ready to start learning. I mean, everything else was just a warm-up. Now it's time to absorb and actually.
Gee, see, I thought once you got your black belt, that meant you knew everything.
Oh no!
You just start learning.
There's so much. There's so much to learn. That's why I was saying that martial art evolves. I mean, it evolves through different phases, through different stages.
Right.
Because people, you can always learn different things. I mean, martial arts started out a really very, very, very long time ago. But I guess the most famous icon in it was Bruce Lee. And even through him back in the day, he was showing how diverse it could be. And it just continues to grow,
In fact, I remember hearing that Bruce Lee, with some of the things that he did, he actually had a lot of opposition because he was not doing it, whatever he was doing, the regular or...
Well, back in the day, and through history, martial arts or different systems have been secret. Within a family or within a clique, so to say. Okay, and when Bruce Lee came to the United States, he wanted to share the art with everybody, to include foreigners. But the traditional kung fu stylists, the masters, said no, you couldn't teach to foreigners, because once you start showing what we know, then they know what we know, and it's not pure.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where he met a lot of opposition initially, but then, you know, there's stories that, you know, he had these great battles, you know, in view of this board, you know, against their champion, and he won, and he said that he will teach who he wants to teach. And thank goodness for that. You know, I mean, because he did do a lot of sharing. He did a lot for the martial art exposure. You know, I mean, that's during the time that it really started picking up, because everybody wanted to be like Bruce Lee. No, you see it. You go to, you know, you take a kid to a karate movie. They come out, first thing they're doing is kicking and jumping and rolling. You know,
You be the other guy. I wanna be you.
okay, Mr. Colwell teaches Goju, which is
It's a
the Japanese art.
Okay.
It's
It's a
actually
hard
from
and soft
Okinawa.
style. Hard and soft style from Okinawa. My belt levels go white, yellow, then green, then purple, then brown, and then I put in a brown with a black stripe so that the brown belts can teach. Once they teach, then they move on to the black belt. And the black belt have different stages, like Mr. Jones have a 3rd-degree black belt, you know, and you get different stages of the black belt, and you learn more and more. You know, the higher the black belt goes, sometimes you have to go to different places to get tested. If not, they'll come here to test you, depending on what, you know, style of art you have. But if you have enough black belts in a high ranking, they can more or less test another black belt to their next level. So it's different styles, you know. And we're a real diverse type of group, you know. We welcome everybody, and we teach just about everything.
And we're also fortunate enough to have another gentleman there with us, Mr. Dan Strickland,
Yes.
who teaches the Filipino, which is arnis, and it's stick fighting and knife defense and self-defense. And this gentleman is 78, I believe Dan is.
Yes.
But
You wouldn't believe it if you see him.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. You know, I mean, he's one of those guys, but he's very mild-tempered and blah, 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 but you just would know that just to look at him.
Ex-military.
And yeah, he's also ex-military, and you know, you would think he's an easy target, but nah.
Looks are deceiving. Looks are deceiving.
Now, most karate places, I haven't been to a lot, and I told you about my experience of going to a class, the Y class, and pulling a muscle the first night, so I never went back. But I do respect it. But most karate places where you go, they really don't have the diversity of offerings that you guys are saying, do they? Usually they have
really.
like one vein of training and they stick to that.
Yes, ma'am. But how that came about is, again, a few years ago, you know, I mean, I was here in Daytona Beach, Florida, and I had schools, you know, and my school was welcoming, you know, to anybody who wanted to walk through the door and learn or share. And I developed a friendship with quite a few distinguished martial artists in the area.
With skills.
With skills.
Yeah, they had those skills.
And so, you know, I left Daytona in 2006, moved overseas, you know, stayed in Thailand. And, you know, rumors started going around that I was just this guy, you know, big karate guy, the one who could make things happen. So, you know, when I came back through this time in January, you know, I was debating whether or not I was going to stay, you know, and my friends had gotten together with me and I said, hey, you know what we need to do?
I reeled them in. I reeled them in. I got the spot.
Yeah, it was an offer that just couldn't refuse. You know, and in it, you know, it brought the collaboration with these different martial artists. And it's not just, you know, those three. You know, we also have Mr. David Noah, who is doing kickboxing and Muay Thai, you know, and, you know, Mr. Jeff Rossi, who also is helping out in the Arnis, and John Bell.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we always have special guests just coming through just to say hi. And,
wow.
you know, you ask them, hey, you want to teach tonight? You know, you want to teach some knife defense or some self-defense? And, you know, but it's just a blessing to have that acquaintance and that how you say that level of friendship with these
Mhm.
different people in the community.
Oh, and what a great offering for individuals who would come in and be a part of your organization too, that they have that exposure to all those different types and individuals who are known in the field. Now you allude to, but you don't come quite out and say it. Apparently, you have been you're a big name in terms of that as well. As
That's
you
what
say, you
people
don't
tell
wanna-
me, you know.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'm here to say yes, it is.
In being a martial artist, I am that humble guy. You know, I mean, I don't really brag a lot about myself or speak a lot about myself. I just like sharing. I like
I
teaching.
do all that.
And yeah. So, but
I brag on them. Yes, I do.
I was told that once a teacher is always a teacher. If you're a good teacher, especially if you love doing it. And I love doing it. You know, and everywhere I go, you know, I mean, even if it's just one person that I'm working with, I'm doing it. I'm sharing. You know, especially with my kids, my grandkids. You know, and. I'm supposed to be that guy, but I'm really not. You know, I just have a lot of friends, a lot of important.
So
friends.
what do his friends say about him then?
Well, technically, they just praise him
Uh-huh.
because of the fact that he's so humbling.
Uh-huh.
You know, when I first got to this area, the Daytona Beach area, because when I left New York, I went straight to Miami, and I started working out with Sensei Herb Thomas and Sensei Pop Wynn, and they were the only guys that would ever let me just walk into their schools or dojos and just work out. And then when I came to Daytona, we've seen only 2 schools that really caught an eye, that you know, mainly that we could really deal with, and Mr. Jones was one of them. And when I met him about 15 years ago, maybe a little longer, I used to always tell him, I'm gonna come in and work out with you, and he was like, okay, yeah. Then I would see him in the store like 3 months later. Well, what happened to you? I said, I was busy, this, that, and other. And then he was like, one day, I actually came in and worked out. And when we came in there and worked out, we had so much in common about, you know, the martial arts. He was like, well, how long you gonna be here? I said, it look like I'm gonna be staying a while. But, you know, the atmosphere was so humbling. And I was like, okay, I like this. And and after a while, he let me come in and do with the kickboxers for a while, and then he was like, okay, now you kind of you believe in working out? I said, yes, I do. And he was like, you gotta slow down a little bit, because we want the people to stay. Because after class, you know, after you do like an hour and a half, you know, the first thing I went straight to is back to more exercise, because whatever I did in the front of the class, after they did the workout, I did at the end of the class. So we worked out with the jumping jacks, the push-ups, the sit-ups, because, you know, it's my warm down. And he was like, well, how long these people? And so many people kept coming and staying. It was like, okay, I see what the idea is, because I want you to be fit and ready. You know, you like on the street, you can't say, okay, let me do my 10 push-ups, I'm gonna be ready to fight. No, it's not like that. This is the real world. You need to be fit and ready right now. So that's how, you know, I do the classes. And he was like, okay, I understand how it is. Because, you know, when I had the young kids, you know, when they get like 16 and 17, they want to go out. So Friday nights, I used to have sparring. And I made them so tired that all they did was go home and go to bed. Take a shower, go to bed. They wouldn't, yo, you going out tonight? I don't think, nah, I'm kind of tired. I had a rough day in class and we worked out all day. I'm like, okay, that was the whole idea. So that way I knew their parents would be like, well, is such and such home? Yeah, they home, they in the bed sleep. Really? I thought they wanted to work out tomorrow. No, they're not coming out tomorrow, you know. So I know I made sure that they would be home, you know. So that was one way to keeping them in for me, you know. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
And as we talked earlier, which Vanessa had, Dr. Vanessa Harvey-Lents had shared with me, that there are other courses that you guys get into that actually helps young people, helps families, you know, because you talked about issues in terms of self-esteem, which a lot of people have issues with. I mean, you know, when I tell people that that's something I had a problem with when I was growing up, they say, oh, no, not you. You get up in front of everybody and talk about that. Yeah, but, you know, you never know where somebody came from or what they had to deal with. And I had to work myself through that. And for a lot of people, they have self-esteem problems, and you can see it and tell it in some of the things, not that they do, but that they don't do,
Right.
because they don't feel that level
Exactly.
of confidence, which holds us back, which really holds us back. That's that blockage that stands in the way of our being even more successful, you know, and having even more blessings coming our way. And so what is it that you guys do in terms of self-esteem and some of the other things that Vanessa shared with me that she's a part of? She says because she just loves being a part of you guys and being with you.
Well, what we do, I believe, is we encourage. You know, we teach in a way that, you know, we want the kids to learn. We correct them through the process and explain to them why. And, you know, praise them when they do it correctly, and, you know, encourage them when they, you know, have to work a little bit more, and let them know that it's not easy, you know, and what they're doing. I mean, they're very special people, because not everybody, I mean, they could do it, but not everybody has the
Everybody
discipline.
does, right.
Everybody has to focus to continue trying. You know, we just encourage them to keep trying, you know, and support them, and then that's it.
And you've gone and you've had your kids involved, and
Oh yeah.
Yes, my kids. My husband and I, we decided to put our children in karate because, you know, we wanted them to be able to protect themselves as well as have continue the discipline that we instill in them. And we love Sensei Jones and Sensei Tony because my kids look forward to coming on, it was Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Now it's Mondays and Wednesdays. But they compete, competition, win trophies. They're excited about, my house is trophy maxed, I'm telling you. And I'm talking trophies my height, and I'm 5'1½". So when my son won, they go to Pan American Games in Miami, and he was only what, 8? And he won first place, and the trophy was taller than him. You should have saw him. He was so proud, you know.
But he's the only one on the team
that won first place.
That won first place in fighting, and everybody in the katas, it was 47 kids in katas. He got last place in katas, but he didn't care. I said, look, let me tell you what you're gonna do. That last place gonna make you have first place in fighting. He said, but I'm tired. I said, man, you better go in there and get that trophy. He went in there. He fought, I think, 12 or 15 times, and he came in first place because he eliminated everybody that he fought and came home. He was the only one on our team. We fought 5. It was 5 of us. 5 of us that went down there. Everybody, including myself, I got second place fighting. He the only one that got first place fighting, a 6-foot trophy.
Oh, wow. Wow. And he's in church just about every Sunday or whatever?
Yes.
And bowl. And he bowls.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he's a bowler.
He's a 2-hand bowler.
Yes.
But all 3 of the kids, my oldest, Devon, she has a brown belt.
Right, she's my brown belt.
She's the brown belt. And
Cherish
Cherish and Walter have the same color,
green. They green.
And my kids, they love. It teaches them discipline because my daughter had an altercation her junior year, and she had to, you know, make a decision whether I'm going to use my karate and defend myself, or I'm going to use my karate to hurt someone. So she used her karate to defend herself, which was a good choice. At first, I was like, you know, those parents like, I pay all this money, and you're telling me you didn't hurt anybody. That was what I said in my head, and she was, you know, she was so scared. She said, Mom, all the things was going through my head that I wanted to do to her, but I knew my sensei would be upset if I did, you know, hurt this person, because she could have hurt her, you know, and they videotaped it. So some of the kids was video, and I saw it, and I saw her really just defend herself. And I told the staff, I said, you know, my daughter is a brown belt in karate. She could have really hurt this young lady. She didn't even realize how much danger she was really in. And, you know, Devon was scared that I was going to be mad at her because she didn't fight the way she was, you know, spar. I was like, I just want you to be able to defend yourself. And you use good judgment by, you know, in discipline, by containing your anger and not fighting and hurting someone out of anger. You know, so she did the right thing, and I commend her on that.
And that's really what you teach, isn't it?
Yes, because I heard about the incident before she got home, and it wasn't just her daughter. I had another one of my female students, Jordan Pride, had the same incident in school, and it was like she defended herself to the best of her ability because they wanted to try to jump her. And after the incident had took place, and it was videotaped by the school as well, and the first thing that comes to my mind when this is happening, I'm like, do I need to go to the school and explain, you know, I don't teach them to be no bullies or anything of that nature.
Right.
But if the situation arises, look here, we're gonna come out walking. We're not coming out to lay down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I instill that when we do our female classes, because there's so much stuff going on outside now. And respect is out the door now. So they don't respect females, and some females don't even respect guys. So it's a two-way, exactly. It's a two-way street. So I mean, if you bump in heads, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna bump heads, but you have to be able to defend yourself. And my outlook is to defend yourself, to walk away. You can talk about it or read about it. Which one would you rather do? And I would rather talk about it than to read about it, you know? So that's what we teach them. And we instill confidence, you know, and confidence is different for everybody. Like, I have a problem with public speaking. I don't even know how I'm doing this right now. To tell you the truth.
I always make my guests feel so confident.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what it is, because normally I would be standing outside going stuttering. But when I'm talking about something that I like and I love, it's something easy. You understand what I'm saying? But to do this outside that door, I don't think I would be able to do this. I'm going to tell you that right now.
God is good.
All the time.
God is good.
Yes. But you also teach about obesity, right?
About fitness, yes. And trying to eat well and do those things that you need to do to make life easy and better for you. You know, because like, you know, you said earlier, especially obesity in the United States is a big problem.
Yes.
You know, right now they say that 1 out of 3 kids in America is obese. That's sad. That's really sad. You know, so martial art is one avenue of, you know, them getting fit, you know, staying focused to be able to continue the program. You know, and we teach about nutrition, eating good and eating well and exercising. You know what I mean? Because nowadays it's just so hard for them not to do anything. You know, I mean, nowadays, you know, you got to kick a kid out of the house. You know what I mean? Before, when we was growing up, let me go.
Hey, they didn't have to tell us to get out of the house. We went out and played, you know, and we didn't have all those fancy, you know, fancy toys and this kind and the other. You know, we made our own, the pop gun.
Better be in before that street light come on.
Piece of glass to do hopscotch and all that stuff, you know.
We played Skelly.
We was creative. Absolutely. We didn't have to have anything to entertain us.
So, you know, I mean, so, you know, we're trying to offer the kids a different avenue. You know, and a lot of parents like what we're doing. You know, I mean, like we did a demonstration this weekend, and we just got so many compliments from the new kids that we have. You know, you know, that we had them. They went up in front of the audience, first time, you know, performing, and they did excellent.
Oh, where'd you do that? Juneteenth?
Juneteenth, yes.
Juneteenth. Yes,
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
You know, so that is one thing that we, you know, are focused on, you know, and again, you know, the thing that we tell our kids is that, you know, martial arts is life. Everything that you do in life is about martial arts. You know, I mean, everything with respect, the discipline, the courtesy, you know, focus, you know, integrity, everything, all of that. You know.
And he's absolutely right, because my kids, they've been with the dojo. Divine is like 19 now, so she's been doing it for almost 14 years. And the other 2, 5 years, about 5 years.
Walter was a baby.
He was a baby.
Come in and punch the bag and walk around and watch everybody
so
else.
it's in their blood. It's like they live and breathe. And when he was in transition, since Daytona was in transition, trying to find a new dojo, the kids were like, what are we going to do now? We have them in non-traditional things like gymnastics, my daughter's in gymnastics, bowling. Karate is the one thing that, you know, they dress up in this gi and they go and he's right, they're exhausted. They come in like zombies. Just show me the tub and show me the bag. You know, and my daughters, you know, she would go say, I'm going out with the girls, and then she go, I can't go out with the girls. She's exhausted, and that's a good exhaustion. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's in their blood. They love karate. it's a holistic thing. And for his obesity, you know, I lost 100+ pounds because, you know, I just like, I got to be here for my kids. And I got to be here for my kids to see them and have grandkids, but I got to get my health right.
Right.
And the things I told Devon, you got to teach me some katas. I'm going to go realize, teach me some katas.
No, she needs to just come to the class.
You said brown belt can teach.
She can teach well,
Yes.
but you need to come to the class, get on that heavy bag, and lose some more weight.
Yes, I
you know,
do. I got
like
50 more
200
pounds to go. I can do it.
I was 286. I'm at 239 now.
Wow.
So
wow.
since I opened up the school, it was like, now I have somewhere to go. Now I can challenge this.
And that's the
now I
thing,
can
you're
start
not just
doing
sitting home watching
Yes.
TV and stuff like that. You say, you know, Larry, I'm gonna send Larry to you. Let me do it.
Larry, come to the dojo.
He said he used to do this. He used to do some of that. You listen to Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards. My guests are individuals who are a part of Dojo Daytona, and of course my psychologist friend Vanessa Harvey-Lents is here, and she and her family are a part of that. They take classes, etc. there as well. And the individuals who have the Dojo Daytona location is Larry Jones and Tony Colwell. And Colwell.
Yes.
Is that right?
I'm
Colwell.
with that.
Colwell.
Look at say he's a good.
That made me so comfortable.
Oh God, yes. And he don't care what I call him. Just call him in time for dinner and for that check, right?
And the workout.
And the workout. Yes, absolutely. But you can tell that these gentlemen and Vanessa too, I mean, they're just passionate about this thing that can help with your mental attitudes. And you know, your attitude is what limits or helps your altitude in terms of your success and progress in life. And so we want you guys to really and truly think about this as being an alternative to what is going on in this country and in our families and in our own personal lives, in terms of people just not having the physical makeup and the mindset that will help them to be successful people. And success is not always measured in money. It's also measured in terms of integrity and the person's name. And you know, the word says that your name is worth more than any kind of precious thing you can think of. It is precious, the protection of your name. And when you've got integrity and all the great and wonderful things that go along with that has been mentioned by these individuals, I mean, that will take your young people and your family together, being a part of this as well, a long, long way. And it's just so key and so important. And in terms of what's going on in the world today, you know, sometimes you just want to just go home and just close the door behind you and just sit there. Don't turn on the TV, the radio, or nothing else, because there's just so much negativity. Everywhere you go, just so much negativity. And you guys, through what individual are able to get into with your facility, they're able to actually control what's going on in here, in the mindset, and then allow that control and discipline to control what's happening with their bodies and as well. And I think it's fantastic that not only do these young people, given what's out there in school and in the community, etc., able to learn how to defend themselves, they're able to learn discipline and when to use it and when not.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, but you know, I said all that, and I should have been saying, as a part of this station identification thing, this is WLE Big 1380 AM on your radio dial in Ormond Beach, Florida. And again, this is Truth with Gwen Azama-Edwards and my guests, Larry Jones and Tony Colwell.
Yes.
Well, Gwen, we'd like to thank you for the invitation and allowing us to come here. And we'd also like to mention that we're having our grand opening this Saturday, and we're inviting the public.
Wonderful.
From 10 to 2 o'clock at 1248 8th Street on the corner of 8th and Derbyshire.
Right.
And at 2 o'clock, we are having a free women's self-defense class.
Oh, okay.
So you all are welcome to come.
I will be there because my kids will be there.
So I need you to work out too.
I might come just for that occasion.
Now, for the women who are going to show up, what should they have on?
Something comfortable, you know.
Regular
sweatpants,
sweatpants, you know, nothing too tight, just something loose where you can,
No makeup, no jewelry.
And don't bring your big purses.
Lock it in the car. Yeah.
Make yourself a target. No. Okay, but yes, that's something that we're offering to the community, and we'd like
wonderful.
to invite everybody out, to help us celebrate our grand opening.
And what are going to be your normal hours and days of operation?
Our normal hours, we're open Monday through Friday. Starting, our first class is at 6 o'clock. On Monday and Wednesday, we have Goju Karate at 6 o'clock.
6 to 7.
On Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 7, we have Taekwondo.
And that's PM.
That's PM.
Okay.
But again, as I said, we're also offering Muay Thai, which is on Monday and Wednesday, and that starts at 7 o'clock. And on Tuesday and Thursday at 7, we have the Arnis.
Okay.
And then Friday is open for like sparring and stuff
Stretching, individual training.
Okay, and it's the same time frame, 6 to 7?
Yes.
Each of those days?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But it carries on later if you want more extra. We don't mind.
Okay, all right, because, as we've been sharing, you guys are truly, truly passionate about this stuff, and that's good. That's what you want, that's what you need when you're really and truly involved in something. You want to receive training and input and all that kind of stuff from people who really care, and that passion really and truly goes a long way. Now, one of the things that Vanessa mentioned had to do with healthy lifestyle, and that being an adult class. Is that a regular adult class that you guys still teach?
It is something that we're going to be bringing on soon. As I just said, we're just opening. We're just getting our foot in the door. Doors open, and we're right now developing our schedule. Trying to make it beneficial for everyone. Trying to make it convenient for everyone, as far as anyone who wanted to train. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, blessing, had to take a step and get a real job, So. But I'm still going to be available in the evening.
Okay, well, I figured that since it was in the evenings, that apparently you guys are doing some real paid stuff, and you do that, and you have to do that sometimes if you're trying to provide something else that's affordable for people.
Right.
So you're not trying to make a killing off of what you're doing. You're doing it out of the passion and from your heart, because this is something that through your lives that will help people. It will help the young people, it will help families, and it will help the women too, and all of whom can take these classes and really gain something material in terms of not just what it will do for them physically, but also what it will do for them spiritually. Because I think for so many of us, there's just so much going on in the world, and especially negativity, but stuff coming at you from all directions, and sometimes you need a way of learning how to focus, which you teach, which is an outgrowth of what they're taking there, as well as the discipline and that self-confidence and self-esteem and I tell you, I guess, truthfully, as a woman, if I could go there and go, look out, Larry.
Break out laughing, so you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You have your eyes and get away right there.
Goodness. And we laugh about it, we joke about it, but actually, this is some serious stuff, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very serious.
They laugh now, they be crying.
That's
right. Because I have 3 daughters, and I have 5 granddaughters, and I'm always concerned about their well-being, and the more that they know, more to be to their advantage, and the biggest thing is, when somebody attacks a victim, it's because they think the victim is helpless, and they do it by surprise.
Right.
But see, they can be overcome also by surprise. So if you know something,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, and it's not that you're gonna stand there and battle with them, you know, but you know, some little things like flick them in the eye, you know, or thump them on the nose.
Yeah, buy time and get the teacher.
Remember the old growing
yeah.
kick, you know, I mean, that
Uh-huh.
thing, you know, but you have to know what you're doing, you know, you have to be confident that you can execute what you're doing.
Right.
Just enough to where you can get away.
Let's just say I don't horseplay with my kids
No,
because
there we go.
they have sparring flashbacks.
There we go.
Especially my middle girl, Cherry. She's
gosh.
like me. She's
Here
was
we go.
strong, and you know we were sparring. Well, she was sparring against me. I had to hold her. I had to remember she was my child. So you don't horseplay with kids who know this stuff. So I don't horseplay with them anymore. I don't do that anymore.
See, I have the same. I have 2 daughters and 3 boys, and my daughters, one is a brown belt and the other one is a yellow belt. But my son is a green belt, and then I have one son that's a black belt, and then the youngest one, he only went to like yellow. So you know they in and out, but you know it's just so much fun when you start teaching your kids. Because when I first started, I let Mr. Jones teach my kids because I expected too much from them, and I was so hard on them. And then they was like, okay, we like it. And then when they got older, like when they got their teenage, it's like, okay, now you're coming over here. Okay, wait a minute, this is different. I said, don't worry, he gave y'all the foundation. We're gonna take y'all on through now. They was like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, don't worry about it. It's life. You're gonna learn today. So that's how it goes, you know. It was so funny because he taught my kids first.
Now, what's the youngest age of a student that you guys have had, and what's the oldest?
Well, we take them from 5 and up. And how old is Mr. student?
78.
Yeah, well, he's a teacher, so
He's
he's a master instructor, so he's still going. So I'm like, you know, I'm learning a lot from him because I like to be the what we call go out there, get hit dummy. I like to feel the contact, so I always raise my hand for that. Everybody else be looking like, yo, we flipping on the floor. Okay, I'm ready for that today, you know. So that's what I do, you know. So I teach the kids the same thing. You know? I wouldn't do anything that I wouldn't have the kids do.
Right.
So I make sure everything is safe. And, you know, we have equipment and all of that kind of stuff for the sparring and stuff. You know, everybody has to have their stuff, face cage. Because, you know, we do point sparring as well. And so we have to get them prepared for point sparring. And so we put on all the gear. You know, you have your hands, your head gear. But if you're under 18, you have to have a cage or a fiberglass facing shield so you don't actually get hit in the face. And then you have chest protectors. And then you have shin guards. So and foot pads. So everything is safely done. Even though it is a contact sport, we make sure that the contact is not excessive or overbearing, you know, but you know, you stay within your limit of power. And then, you know, when we start training, we teach them, you know, limit your power. You know, you're just doing it for just to work on your time and your speed and your technique and stuff of that nature. So, you know, it's safe. You know, we make sure it's safe. Now, for the female classes of the self-defense, we want to make sure that you know what you're doing. So 9 times out of 10, we are out there. So we want y'all to make sure that it works. So we are willing to take the little extra from you guys. You know, so we want to make sure it works. Because if it don't work in the house, it ain't gonna work in the streets. So we got to make sure it works at the house first before you go out to the streets. You know, so that's how we do it.
Well, I love that you not only get into that, but as you said, you also will get groups of the boys together, girls together, and you have the little talks.
Yes, yeah, we do that as well. What we do is, you know, sometimes I pick a week out the month, and I get some of the guys. I really like to talk to the girls first to find out what's really on their mind. Find out what's on their minds. Then, you know, I call it like a summit. I just do girls for 1 week, and then after that, I do the boys for 1 week, and then I get them both together. Now that class is different, you know, and then we talk about the name calling and why you wear this and why you wear that, and then I give them the aspect of the way we was raised, you know what I'm saying, how to respect them. But see, they don't get that. When you have babies, you have a problem.
Right.
So the kids of the 90s, they really don't have respect. So why would they listen to anything of respect? So you have to make them listen. And if you can't make them listen, you ain't going to be able to teach them, and they ain't going to be able to learn. And then what they're going to do is just do what they've been doing.
Right.
You know, without structure, it's chaos. So we don't want that. We want structure. And if you have to, I don't know, build it maybe, you know, you have to implement it. You have to put it into them, you know, and if it's not into them, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna come out, because the next seeds, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be, like I tell everybody now, the kids of the 90s, whoa, I think they're lost. 2025, those kids is gonna save everything else, because they're gonna listen. Because like we're talking now, somebody's listening, or somebody of a younger age is gonna be like, yo, I understand what they're saying. You know, we can't just blame it on the music. We just can't blame it on the TV. We can't blame it on the games. It's us. If you don't put it out there, I mean, it's done. You know what I'm saying? So we have to do something better. The old way was working. It worked with us. Let's bring it back. Bring back the old way. It will be less prison, less jail. Well, it won't be that many people in it. Because them old grandmothers, they don't mind putting their hands on it. You know what I'm saying? But you learn from that, and you didn't do it again. I mean, I'm doing good now, because my grandmother, my mom made sure of this. So you know, respect is due. I mean, you have to give it. You have to earn it. It's taught. You have to teach respect. And these kids are not learning respect. They're learning everything else except that. So, I mean, it's a fallen nation, so we got to build it back up. And if we don't, we're going to be, I don't know, lost.
And it takes us to do it. You know, it can't be government dictating or whatever. It's got to be us taking control and actually.
They get money for their parts. We ain't getting money. The government. When you get money for that, it's a different kind of thing. If you ain't doing it from your heart, you don't mean it.
Oh yes, absolutely.
You don't mean it.
Absolutely. And we all have to take responsibility for doing our part. And I thank you guys for doing yours. And trying to pick up a little of what the others aren't doing.
Well, we have
Because we all have, it's just too important a thing to just leave undone. That's the thing.
Well, I know it's appreciated, you know, I mean, parents all the time thank us, you know, because they see the change in their children. I mean, their child, the worst thing that they would hate to happen to them is for the parent to come to the martial art instructor and say, well, John was kind of bad in school today. He got a red instead of a green on his, you know, on his paper. You think you can talk to him? They don't want to hear that. You know what I mean?
I use that method. I have. I'm going to tell Sensei Tony. I'm going to tell him, and he's going to get you. You're going to run today. You are going to run today. I use it. I mean, you're going to see him. How you doing? Oh, he got this on his paper today. Okay, Walter, that's what you're working with today? Come on, start running. Barefooted. Get it. I'm like, yes. I don't have to hit him or nothing. I'm like, yes.
We do a student of the month, student of the week, and what we do is, you know, when we have the kids, we take their report cards, we get their report cards, and we have a red, white, and blue thing that says student of the month. So they get a chance to teach a class or whatever the case may be. But, you know, at the time when I had all my kids and her kids, they was making all A's and B's, so it was kind of hard to split it up because everybody had like a 3.0 or a 4.0 average. I'm like, okay, we have a problem. We're gonna have to do something different now. So then I had to start taking them to the movies and stuff of that kind of nature to bring it out, because I mean everybody can't be student of the month, but everybody had them grades. So I was like, okay, I'm glad of that, but now I had to just come out with something else to do for them. But it is so much fun though, you know, like she said, when they have problems, the first thing, how was your day today? You know, I can tell when Cherish have a little attitude. I'm like, okay, I'll tell you what, we're going to talk about this later. I don't feel like, okay, you're going to feel like it in a minute. You know? You can't come here and, hey, we ain't wasting no time or no money, let's go. Okay, we'll talk about it. We still going to do it, but it's done. You know, but like she do tell them, and she do tell me, so it's so funny. It's just funny.
And that kind of support is important. That kind of follow up and follow through is important as well. Well, we're at the end of the show, so I will give each of you an opportunity of just sharing some final words as we end, and then if you would again give the address and tell them again about your grand opening events for the weekend as well.
I'll go first. Yes.
Go right
ahead. If there's anyone out there who wants to volunteer to write grants for them, please contact them. The obesity grant would be awesome for them to have funds to really promote that aspect of the business, or a nonprofit status, that 501c3 application. Just contact them and help them with that. I would appreciate that part, because that can really, really elevate the obesity part of it. And my own little plug, you know, tomorrow is National HIV and AIDS testing.
Yes.
And I want everybody to go out and get tested. I just came from an outreach board meeting. They test every day, Monday through Friday, from 9 to 3 on Fredericks Avenue, right by Dr. Quarterman's. She got a free plug. Dr. Quarterman's dental office. So go and get tested. Please, please, please get tested. Know your status. I've been married 25 years. I know my status. You should know your status, okay? Because you're married doesn't mean, not saying not to trust them, your health, your life, your or her,
Yes.
or her. Okay, I'm sorry, Sister Jones, but your life, your health is your responsibility. You can't depend on someone else to know your status. You need to know your own status. And you can contact Sensei Colwell at 386-383-7324 to get in contact with him about those grant writing opportunities for the dojo.
Hey, this is Larry Jones. I'd like to thank you for, again, this opportunity of allowing us to come here. And I'd like to give a shout out to my kids who are supposed to be practicing now. And Mr. Moore, okay. And again, thank you. Again, like to welcome everyone to come out to our opening, our grand opening, which will be this Saturday from 10 to 2 o'clock. Address is 1248 8th Street in Daytona Beach, corner of 8th and Derbyshire, right there in the plaza. We got refreshments, we're gonna have some demonstrations, we got music, we got everything going on. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day for kids who want to come in and participate. And after that, we're going to be having our women's self-defense class. So it's free, okay? But we're only limited to the first 20 women that sign up, okay? So you can get in contact with us at the number that was just given.
383-7324.
Or you can contact us through our email, which is the Dojo Daytona, THEDOJO Daytona @gmail.com. Thank you.
And I'm Tony. I'd just like to say I really enjoyed this moment. You know, the best thing is, like I said, if you can listen, you can learn. If you can learn, you can be taught. If you can be taught, one day you'll be able to teach. And for our youth, the outlook to me is this: it's better to be thought of than to be remembered as. You understand what I'm saying? And I mean, that's all I have to say. Just take it as it is. Take it as it is. Thank you.
I'm trying to write down, if you can listen, you can learn. If you can learn, you can teach.
Be taught.
You can be taught,
And
okay.
if you can be taught, one day you'll be able to teach. I'm going to have to trademark that.
Yes.
Yes.
You can say it forever,
I have to
Tony.
trademark that.
And I said it to my
Be able to
kids.
teach.
You're not listening, so I can't teach you anything.
Right, there you go.
Hello.
Certain things on your body that always work. That's your ears, your breathing, and your heart. You ain't got to, you can't stop them.
Oh man, he just got it all.
That's
What
Mr.
can I say?
Philosopher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to trademark all of this stuff.
I got a million of them.
So you need to write all that stuff down and then trademark it. Praise God.
Put out my next.
Well, my thanks to each and every one of you, to Dr. Vanessa, to Larry Jones, and to Tony, and I'm going to Colwell.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you all for coming on the show and talking about Dojo Daytona.
Yes.
And thank you to our listeners, and I pray that you will come out on Saturday to help them on their grand opening, and also get your kids involved, and you get involved with them, so that all these great and wonderful side benefits and actual direct benefits that you can get from karate can be a part of your lifestyle, because it is truly about lifestyle and lifestyle changes. So, to all of our listeners, thank you for listening. Be sure to listen every Thursday starting at 6:15 or whenever the big guy gets his up out of the chair. Go to the website, www.gwen-truth.com. Until next time, stand tall for that which is right and truthful. Be informed, be empowered, and until next time, you just have a blessed day. Hey, to all of you listeners, get fit, get involved, go to Dojo.
Dojo.
All right,
Thank
be
you.
blessed and have a great weekend.
With your host, Gwen
Awesome. See? I told you guys. I told you.